What's good? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie Sing Sing. So the movie Sing Sing is a 2023 film. It's rated R and it's an hour and 47 minutes. Directed by Kwedar. So how I would describe this movie as a viewer, I would definitely use the word impactful. And for someone who is into like directing and cinematography, definitely say that this movie was a really cool introduction. Moments in here where your heart is just going to be pumping like crazy because of just how impactful this movie is presenting itself in general. People who are into film, I would say there's a lot of stuff in this movie that while watching it, you see how this director is using their own style or using their creativity to put out this story. You see how a lot of these angles is a great way to not shy away from new things, not be scared to try some new things out. So for those who don't know, this is based on a true story. We have Divine G, who is imprisoned at Sing Sing. At Sing Sing, he has a theater group, and in the theater group there is a lot of other incarcerated prisoners in there. Divine G is in Sing Sing for a crime he didn't do, so he's trying to get out and to pass time and to have some peace of mind. He runs a theater program. We're seeing the story of how Divine G is, one, trying to get out, second, a new member ends up joining the theater group who's also a prisoner at Sing Sing. So we're seeing how Divine G is welcoming this new prisoner into the theater group, while the other prisoners in that group are also inviting him in. But you're seeing a lot of the everyday struggles that they deal with, especially being in prison. And we're seeing how a lot of these prisoners in that theater group are using that Broadway theater style program to get a sense of humanity, get a sense of being back to reality and having a proper rehab so that they could actually be on good terms and have a possibility to get out of prison. That's what the movie's about, and we're seeing a lot of the other prisoners in that theater group enjoy being in that type of program. So I remember getting introduced to this movie from my brother Fro Reviews, where he told me about A24 came with another banger movie. A24 literally has crispy style movies, but this movie right here was just a very crispy, well presented story. I think the title Sing Sing can throw some people off. It's definitely important to explain that Sing Sing is the place that a lot of these prisoners we're staying at. Really like the choices of screen time for everything in this movie. We saw the real life prisoners in this movie show up. For those who don't know, there's a lot of prisoners involved with that theater program, but those are not actors. Those are actually the real life prisoners, and some of them are actors. But this movie did a really good job on placing a lot of these people on screen, so later on you actually find out the ones you saw on screen were the real life people imprisoned at Sing Sing. Coleman Domingo, who played Divine G. Shout out to Divine G actually being in this movie. He has a cameo in this movie where he's asking for the autograph of the actor playing his character. Performance wise, scene by scene, he just brought you more into his character. I really like his leadership skills with a lot of other people to give these other people a peace of mind. You're rooting for this guy. With him bringing you in with his acting, you can just tell as well that things are going to be thrown at his character, and it definitely was, especially the fact that he's trying to get out of this prison for a crime he didn't commit. Side of the movie where it just gets your heart pumping like crazy because you can't believe the scenarios that they put him in. You can see it all through his eyes. You can see it all through just the great camera direction that this movie is going for. There's a part where he's trying to see if he can get his sentence reduced or finally leave that prison. The lady asking him, were you acting in this moment or in this interview? That was one of those moments where I'm just like, dude, the fact that she had the audacity to even ask him that is very insane, because while we're following Divine G, we actually get close to his character to a point where he's talking to other characters. You're like, oh, this dude's a very good dude. He's a humble dude. His limits are tested. This is a character where if you want to see a guy go through breaking points, this is the character to watch. Actually opens your eyes to a lot of things as well. Acting wise, he does a really good job on those very low moments and does a crazy job on those very high moments as well. I absolutely like the lines for him. I thought his lines were showing that he's very smart and very intellectual. I feel like his relationship bonds in this movie is what made this movie a lot more impactful. A lot of unique camera angles where you can see what Divine G is actually thinking without his character actually having to say any lines. I really like the camera direction with them going with film on some scenes and then going with more high quality modern direction. Visually, quality wise, all had classic feel vibes. Clarence Maclin plays himself. He's the new member that joins that theater group. That's insane that he's playing himself. Talk about growth. He literally is a growth character. You see real life prisoner walk, real life prisoner talk. I thought a lot of the stuff in this movie that he was doing in here, if you're not familiar with how a lot of prisoners are moving daily, he was that presentation of that. He's that side of the movie where when you explaining Divine G's character in this movie, he's that extra flavor of this movie that makes it super phenomenal. Sean San Jose plays Mike. He's that underrated character in this movie that you had a warm heart for. Part of this movie that just added another flavor. Another part of this movie where it just hits your heart a lot more. It is definitely needed to present this story, and very insane how this was a real life character. And man, when you see this movie, Mike, is definitely an underrated movie, and this is definitely a movie that people have to watch. Very sad that this movie didn't get too much of promotion like that. They actually showed the real life footage of the theater performance that these prisoners are working on. So the idea of adding so much creativity in this movie worked. Like I said, as an inspiration. It's kind of like barbershop talk movie. You explain what's going on, talk about what's going on in your world, and then you talk about like, hey, you know, this prisoner went through this, being falsely accused, and he's in this prison for a crime he didn't commit. The range in this movie is absolutely great. The music score in this movie was phenomenal. It just gave it that classic feel. The way the movie ends, I can't believe it, and it's just like a straight applaud. Just makes you want to stand up and applaud. After my watching the movie Sing Sing out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 10 out of 10. So that's my movie review for the movie Sing Sing. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.